Hey guys, what's up? This is Chris with RC Madness, and I've got another video today of my slash 4x4 build. In the other videos, I just showed you a little bit of how I'm building it. I'm still waiting on some more parts. I haven't got everything yet, but I did get enough to complete the drivetrain and put the diffs on, so I'll be doing that shortly. But I just got the final part to finish my spur here today and my slipper clutch assembly, so I thought I would do a quick video on how I'm doing this. Since I'm running the Castle Creations 2200 kV motor, I'm going to want to go ahead and put on some... I'm going to want to go ahead and first of all put on Mod 1 gears. Second off, I'm going to probably want to put steel, considering that it just has so much power for that drivetrain and so much high gearing that I'm going to want to go ahead and go with steel. So I ordered the normal slipper clutch assembly with the normal stock spur on there. And it's a 52 tooth spur that comes on there, mod 0.8, so mod 8. And that would be great if I was just going to be bashing. That's what I have in my bashing slash. However, I want something that's more meant for speed, that I can more match with my pinion. So I went ahead and ordered a Hot Racing SRVO 434 heavy duty steel spur gear. And this is a 34 tooth. It's actually the exact one that I've got in my Rustler right there, if you can see that. Right there, 34 tooth by Hot Racing. I love it, have had no problems. I've used this car a bunch, and I haven't had any shearing down on the teeth. So that's great. So I went ahead and ordered it for the slash, as you can see. I also... because I need speed and I'm going to have a lot of friction within this, without this bearing here, I went ahead and bought Traxxas's 6893X part, which will go on here, and that's a bearing and adapter for this, just to give it some better, to reduce friction and make it as good as possible. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to do this, in case you've never taken this apart for. So you're going to want to start by taking this end off, and I'm actually not even going to put that end back on because I've got my Techno drive shaft. This does not work for that. So you go ahead and take that off, just put that on the side, and you've got this. So now, if you have your standard Traxxas wrench, I believe that's what it is. I may be wrong. I actually am wrong. Correct me on that. That won't work. However, I have this for my 8th scale buggies, and I am pretty sure this will work. Yep. So you got to have this size. So on the Traxxas one, it actually is this size. Actually, it's not. No, it's not. Not sure what size this is. This may tell me. It's an 8, whatever that is. So maybe 8 millimeter. I'm not exactly sure. I believe that is what it is. So you're going to go ahead and get that. Traxxas does give you a wrench that will work. However, I have this to make it easier. So it'll just go ahead and slip right over that. And you can just turn that all the way off. So just keep turning that. And you will see that the back side of this turns as well. So you got to have something to hold that. And if you hold it with your hands, you can hold it tight enough for where it'll turn off. So go ahead and take that off. As you can see, that nut right there pops right off. You've got your spring right here. And as you can see, that will just drop right off the back side of that. So we're going to want to transfer everything from this over. So for now, you could take this and this adapter, just put them on the side. Go ahead and take your steel gear or whatever gear you're putting on. Cut that open. And I'm going to cut my gear open because that's what I want. These screws, I don't believe I need. I will have to see if I do or not. But you could just put those screws on the side for now. Then you're going to want to go over here. And you're going to want to take your wrench and start taking these 3 screws out. So let me do that and come right back. So now that you've got those out, you will see, you can put those on the side, you will see that the back of this will pop right off. And you may need to get a flathead. So I'm going to grab my flathead. Just go ahead and just pry that off. Try not to bend it, and you can work around it to get it loose. And it'll just pop right off. Now, I'm not sure if these slipper pads are going to be what I want. I have upgraded ones on the Rustler, I'm not sure if I'm going to need them for this. I probably will, but I'm going to go ahead and test it with these stock ones. So just set that on the side. You're going to want this bearing, so go ahead and pop that out of the center. And there you've got a brand new gear. So you could sell that. You could put that on the shelf. You could do whatever you want with that. Go ahead and throw that on the side. Go to your upgraded gear. Put your bearing back in the middle. You've got to work around it to get it tight. Sometimes it even helps to get it to where it's very close and just tap on it a little bit around the edges, and it will eventually just slip right in. Now that I've got it started, I could slip it right in. Sorry about that, guys. I had a hard time slipping that in there, and it needs to be tight for it to be able to hold. And with the upgraded steel spur gear, it's a little bit harder. So I got it slipped in. You just have to tap around the edges of it. Tap very lightly because you don't want it to go in crooked, because then you're really in trouble. But it's fit in there perfectly now, so I'm good to go on that. So you're going to want to go ahead, and you'll see how the back of this is cut out. You want that to be in the back where this goes. And you'll see that these have like these little notches here. Those are going to fit down in the holes of this. So you'll see that that sits right in there perfectly. So go ahead and set that down for a second. And you're going to want to go ahead, and you can actually use these screws that came with it. And I'm going to go ahead and use them. On my rustler, I just used those stock ones, and it worked fine. However, these make it look a little bit better. Not that you're going to see it anyway, but makes it just be a little bit more stock. So go ahead and take that, and you can see where one side of that is flat and the other side is like cut in. This screw fits in there perfectly, and it fits down in there flush, as you can see. So you're going to want to go ahead and put those on there. And since you're screwing steel into steel, you're going to want to get some Loctite. I have left over from last time that I did a build. I have MIP Loctite left over. So you're going to want to go ahead and open that up. Whatever type of Loctite you have. This one's actually empty. I still have more. And this one here, go ahead and open that up. Put that down real quick so I can see. Let me find my screw. There it is. So now that you've got that, with this Loctite, because it's like a gel, just screw your screw around in it just a little bit. There we go. That screw's good. So now go back to your spur gear and get it started. Just start it in one of those holes a little bit. You can get it a little bit tight just to hold it on there. So get it tight until where you don't need to put pressure on, where you have to start putting pressure on it. Just get it to that point. Then do that with the rest of the screws. Go ahead and put that back on. Put your Loctite on and screw it in. Let me do that and I'll be right back. So now that you've got all three of those in and they're to the point to where you need to start putting pressure on there, go ahead and do that. Put a little bit of pressure on that one and just start tightening it a little bit, maybe a half a turn. Go to this one, do maybe a half a turn as well. Go to this one, half a turn. Go back to the first one, tighten it all the way. Go to this one, tighten it all the way. And you can see to where sometimes, like that one needed to turn a bunch. But go ahead and just tighten it since you have that one tightened all the way. Go to this, the last one, tighten it all the way. And that will make it as even as possible so that thing doesn't have any wobble. And after you have them all tightened all the way, just go around again. Make sure there's no more room left in them. They won't back out now that you have that Loctite. So go ahead and just get them as tight as possible. Make sure that your bearing is pushed down as far as it can go and it's tight against this back plate. And there you've got your steel spur on. So now you go back to this. Go back together the same way it came. Where you can see, and I actually... There we go. Just making sure that I'm doing it right. You got it all back together. Good to go. Now, because you have the upgraded bearing for it, you can go ahead and cut this open because now this is when you're going to use it. Go ahead and cut it open. And you can see you've got your bearing right there and your adapter right there. Now, if you look, that looks a lot like the blue adapter. That looks a lot like the black adapter that came off. This blue one does. So you're going to want to go ahead, go back to this, and put that on there. My bad there, I messed up a little bit. You're going to go ahead and get this blue adapter, and you're going to put it on, and you can see where this thing is like tapered. Let me see if I can get a clear view of that. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the camera focusing. But you can see where one side is bigger than the other. One side looks a little smaller. It almost comes to a cone shape. You're going to put that shape down, and this bearing will fit right on the other end of it. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go ahead and put your spring on there. Get your nut. Tighten it. Tighten it fit by your fingers. Then go ahead and tighten it the rest of the way with your wrench. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten it all the way because I don't want too much slip. Actually, I might even tighten it like halfway because I want a little bit of a slip that the car won't wheelie, but I still don't want it to slip too much. So go ahead and get that tight to where you want it. And there you go. There you go. So now I'm going to pull this bearing up now that it focused. And you can see where that has like a notch in it. And that bearing sits on there perfectly. So there you go. Now you got your steel spur gear on. You got the upgraded bearing thing. You got everything you want. And it's good to go. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. And check out the link in the video description for the playlist of this build series. Thanks for watching, guys.